Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Auscast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Auscast.
Simply head to auscastnetwork.com for details.
In a world where everyone says hello,
they dare to say,
g'day.
Yeah, g'day.
Yeah, g'day!
Yeah, g'day. Yes. Good day. Yeah. G'day. G'day. Yeah. G'day. Yeah. Yeah. Good day.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, g'day!
G'day. Hey. Yeah. G'day. Yeah. G'day, Tim.
Yeah, g'day, Leon.
Yeah. G'day, everyone.
Yeah, g'day, everyone.
Welcome to the G'day. I struggled with the name of the show just then.
Yeah, the g'day.
Yeah, the G'day. The show, the legacy, the legend, soon to be crowned number one podcast by the Australian Podcast Awards. If you keep saying it, it'll happen.
Yeah, that's what they say, and it seems to be happening for them. Everyone's been saying what they want to happen.
Yeah. Well,
So it happened for the people that said that if you say that something's going to happen,
it'll happen.
are you following my train of thought? Probably not.
Yeah, you know, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Look, they not to toot our own horn or anything, but they did share our tweet and our Facebook thing, so I think we've won.
100%. That's not something they do.
They're not doing it for
everybody
everyone.
that does it.
No.
It's not. It's not.
How could you possibly police that?
Yeah.
The amount of Australian podcasts there are.
It's ridiculous.
Tim, being an Australian podcast, we talk about Australian things. Did you know that?
Yeah, I noticed there was kind of a recurring theme each week.
And sometimes I just don't know if I've ever felt like this. I feel there's some strange things happening.
You're going around the twist.
I feel like I'm going around the twist.
Oh, what a joke.
Ladies and gentlemen, this week we are talking about the hit TV, nay, hit legacy.
Yeah.
That is Round the Twist.
We seem to have some kind of unconscious challenge to say legacy as much as possible in this episode.
Well, it's my legacy to deliver that to
yes, this is a heavy-hitting episode. Round the Twist. This is a cornerstone.
Oh,
In the same way as when we did Play School,
yes.
Round the Twist is, I would say, just as legatic. I'm trying to use... Is that a thing?
Where's Leon today? He's legatic.
It's just as important, at least in our generation, maybe also the generation slightly before ours, in growing up in Australia.
Most definitely. I think that Play School was your before school, and Round the Twist was your after school.
Oh, yeah. Round the Twist. So good.
It's
so ridiculous when you look back at it.
Oh, it's batshit crazy.
Some of the storylines are absurd, but we'll talk about those.
We will. Tim, tell me about Round the Twist.
All right. For those who didn't grow up in this wide brown land, Round the Twist is an Australian children's fantasy television program. It's about 3 kids. They live with their dad. I think their mother passed away at some point in the past. They live in a lighthouse. And the lighthouse is pretty emblematic as well. And they apparently, according to Wikipedia, although I never paid this much attention, they live in a small coastal town, which is fictional, called Port Naranda. And yeah, they go through some wacky situations while living in this lighthouse.
I always thought that living in a lighthouse looked super cool.
Yeah. Lighthouses weird me out because they don't look that big, but whenever they did the scenes, the house kind of looked biggish.
Yeah, I think it tapers.
Yeah.
Or they're just straight. But it was the spiral staircase that really sold it.
Yeah.
But they never really, in the entire TV series, they never really talked much about lighthousery, the job of lighthousing.
No. Where the lighthouse played such a prominent role, yeah, there was not much lighthouse information delivered.
I don't even remember if the lighthouse used to be on at night.
I think it was, and I only remember that because there was some episode with ghosts and stuff that I'm pretty sure involved the light. Oh, yeah, there was something about we'll get into the episodes later, but there was something about a sail. There was like a ghost of a sailor, and his wife was waiting
or
something, and they walked out on the light from the lighthouse
They
into
did.
the... Yeah, anyway.
They walked away.
So to give you a little background,
Please.
continuing on with that, there are 4 seasons made of this show. Only 4 seasons. That's 52 episodes, although all of this was produced over 11 years. It was all very spread out.
Yeah, so we watched a lot of the same episodes on repeat.
Yeah, the first 2 seasons are based on the fantasy stories of an Australian author, Paul Jennings, who is another cornerstone of childhood in Australia.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, they used to read out his short stories, which were always just as kooky as the episodes. At primary school for me, and I used to read them when I was growing up as well.
Yeah.
Loved that shit. First season was made in 1989. The weird thing about Round the Twist between seasons is you should never expect the characters to be played by the same actors.
Not at all.
They're generally broadly into like season 1 actors, season 2 actors, and then season 3 and 4 seem to be pretty much stable, the same actors.
Yes.
But even then, like, there's some crossovers. It's crazy trying to keep up with who's who's. But that being said, you can always tell the characters. The characters are pretty distinctive.
Oh, yeah. And even though they change the actors and the actresses,
Yeah.
they always get someone that looks exactly the same as the person before.
Pretty much. So the 4 characters, the 4 main characters, the dad, Tony Twist.
Tony Twist.
Their last name's Twist.
I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah. I don't think I knew that either, but it makes sense considering it's Round the Twist, but also...
Only Twist.
Who the fuck has the last name Twist? This family, apparently. I think he falls in love with Bronson, who's one of the son's school teachers.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
anyway.
the way it goes.
He's just a regular dad, isn't he?
Well, he's an artist.
He is an artist. Yes, he is an artist. That's
so he's
correct.
an artist, and he goes through different forms of art, whether it be ice sculpture, which we'll talk about in a bit, but I think he does like painting and stuff like that. He's a very hands-on man, does a lot of crafting and gardening.
Yeah. Then there's Pete and Linda, who are
Pretty
twins.
boring. Yeah.
They go to high school. They're kind of boring. Some of their storylines are moderately funny.
Yeah.
And then you got the heavy hitter,
Bronson.
Everybody loves to hate Bronson and hates to love Bronson. He is really what makes the show work. He's this shithead little kid. And he grows up over the course of the show, but he is just the fucking worst. But he's hilarious.
Can you imagine having a baby and deciding to call them Bronson?
Oh, I would. And I would base it on Bronson from Round the Twist.
It's such a bogan name.
It is very much so. And then, like, in this tiny coastal town, you've got, like, the Gribbles, which are kind of like, I think...
They're the rival family.
Harold Gribble's, like, the mayor or
Correct.
something like that. He works in real estate. He's trying to buy the lighthouse for some reason. I can't remember why.
At one point, it was played by a guy with brown hair that kind of looked a bit almost Mark Holden-esque. But then you had the curly-haired guy that plays Con the Fruiterer, whose name escapes me right now.
Yeah, he's the one that I remember.
Yeah, and because he was very good. I think, was he early seasons and then changed, or was it the other way around?
Let me just have a quick look.
Because
Harold Gribble, I think the guy's name's Mark Mitchell, the one we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
When was he?
I don't know.
Okay. Good.
Good one.
Good research.
What was the question?
Nothing. So yeah, you had those two guys, but yeah, they were the bad guys, and everyone hated them. They were all dickheads.
And he had like a bitchy wife who was very Petunia Dursley.
Yes.
In temperament.
Correct.
And then they had 3 sons, I think, or 2 sons, and then there was like the one. I think that all 3 of the boys were their sons.
Yeah, no, I think they had I think it was like they had 3 sons, then there were 3 twist kids. So
yeah, there was James, Tiger, and Rabbit. But Rabbit, in all of the research, Rabbit doesn't have the same
last name.
Actually, I think James was the only one that was actually their son. I think Tiger and Rabbit were both just
local dickheads.
Yeah, old mates.
Right, that's weird. I thought they were the kids.
Yeah, I thought that they were related as well.
Who's Fiona?
What?
Who's Fiona? Pete's girlfriend.
Oh, Fiona. Yeah. So that's Bronson's
teacher
in the first season, and yeah, they.
Oh, that's not Pete's girlfriend. That's Tony's girlfriend. What was Pete's girlfriend's name? No, I don't remember. For some reason...
Oh, no. Yeah, Faye. Faye is the teacher that becomes...
Faye is the teacher. Fiona is Pete's
Fiona
girlfriend.
is like Linda's friend, I think.
Yeah, curly blonde hair.
Yeah.
Pete pines after her for the entire series.
Yeah. So the episodes are kind of broken down to like ones that revolve around particular kids.
Yeah.
Really.
It's almost the monster of a week structure from Buffy.
Yeah.
Like each episode there is a spooky thing that they deal with.
Yeah. So let's go through each kid and talk about their best episodes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we can do Linda because I cannot recall any
I was going to say
episodes
Linda,
right now.
Can't think. Pete's best episode in my eyes is one that we just came across before where he has magic lipstick.
Yes.
That makes all the women want to kiss him. Now, here's the thing about the magic lipstick. From my memory, they do some weird, like, super bad CGI stuff with the lipstick, and I kind of remember it not really sitting on his lips rather than just giving him lipstick, I think.
Yeah, it looked like they had, like,
they just drawn it on later.
Colouring in the editing process or something.
It was weird.
Yeah.
But he had this magic lipstick that made all the girls want to kiss him, which he obviously put on for Fiona. But as the summary goes, it meant all the girls, ladies, older women. So I believe the teacher tried to crack onto him, Mrs. Gribble.
There was the old lady who lived in the town as well, who was mates
the lighthouse
with,
lady.
Yeah, the lighthouse lady. She used
probably,
to live there, I think. Her name was Nell.
Yeah, she probably tried to mac on with him. Like, everyone tried to get down on him. And I think he also, like, one of the Gribble dickhead boys, I think one of them got hold of it too. So then it was like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Did they kiss? Didn't the boys kiss?
I think the boys kissed.
I don't know if it's that episode or it's another episode. The boys kiss. Here's the thing about Australian TV. There's two things that you can be certain of in child TV. There's probably some kind of homoerotic situation.
Oh, yeah.
And nudity.
Yeah.
Not at the same time.
A lot of bums on Australian TV.
A lot of bums in Australian TV.
A lot of bums.
But yeah, a lot of boys kissing too sometimes.
Yeah.
I think.
Sometimes.
I'm saying sometimes. It's probably just round the
different
twist.
time.
And then, like, is that your best Pete episode?
Yeah, there's a good Pete and Linda episode. It's like in the first season. It's the same episode where Bronson has this weird dragon cave situation going on.
I don't remember that.
Where Pete and Linda are looking for some kind of treasure of Nell's. I think it's rubies or something. And they go to this shack because they think that's where they're kept. And then they just get absolutely pounded by like a flock of seagulls, this enormous flock of they just shit all over the shack.
Okay.
And they go outside and I think they get covered in shit as well, and everything is just covered in shit.
Oh, is that the one where there's like the moment where there's that giant amount of poop from like the big seagull or the big pelican?
I think so. Yeah.
Because there was a BuzzFeed article recently about like stories from Round the Twist filming, and one of them was like how many times they had to do that because like it was just like a big bucket of yogurt or some shit.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the spaghetti episode that we'll talk about too. But let's talk about the big dog, the heavy hitter. Trying to nail down one good Bronson episode is almost impossible.
Oh, there's so many good Bronson episodes.
A favorite of mine, in terms of one that I remember the most, is called Ice Maiden. And that's where Tony is into ice sculptures for the moment. And Bronson is horny for the ice sculpture.
Yeah.
Which I believe...
Which is a recurring theme with Bronson.
Yeah, Bronson's horny for a lot of things. But I believe the ice sculpture is based on his cousin Terry. So there's some weird stuff going down.
It's very weird,
but
yeah.
all I remember is that like Bronson gets horny for it. Like he kisses the ice sculpture and everything. I think it shatters eventually. But he also has ice cream like the entire episode. And I can't remember if it's because he's horny for Ice Girl, he just has ice cream all the time, or if he's just hungry all the time. But like he eats ice cream in the creepiest way a child can. He just like glares at you and licks the ice cream. It's pretty messed up, but I definitely had a couple of love affairs with ice sculptures after
It is
that.
messy. Before we move on, I have to quickly... There was an episode where Pete got a weird curse on him, and at the end of every sentence he had to say, "without my pants." Do you remember that episode?
I do remember that.
I just had to throw that out there. It's not a Bronson episode.
That was a classic. That's what she said before. That's what she said was a thing.
Yeah.
Round the Twisted Trailblazers.
I think... We talked about this before. The best and the weirdest episode
of Bronson.
Of the entire series, really, is when Bronson has a tiny fish swim up his pee hole. And then he can swim really fast because he uses his dick as a propeller.
Correct.
It is The weirdest episode.
Just good quality PG after school family fun.
Yeah. I mean, they never explicitly say that that's what's going on,
Yeah.
but
It's up his dick.
it's obviously what's happened. Yeah.
It's right in there. Yeah, look, that's how you swim fast. There's the spaghetti eating episode, which I think is Bronson focused as well, where there's like the competition with spaghetti.
Yeah.
Which is another one they were talking about in that BuzzFeed article, because supposedly it was just like cold and gross, and they were doing it for hours, and it was yucky.
There's also, and I just found the name of this episode as well. I'll tell you afterwards. The one where we talked about this. Bronson is in a weeing competition at school, and he has to try and pee over the urinal.
Yes.
The name of that episode, Little Squirt.
Brilliant.
Fantastic stuff. Just gorgeous.
Give Paul Jennings an Oscar.
Yeah.
I was saying to you that I definitely never once in my entire life tried to wee up the wall of a urinal.
Yeah, none of us have. No, that'd be just disgusting, wouldn't it?
But yeah, it's definitely something that everyone's tried.
Oh.
I have mentioned it before that Backyard Ashes, which is a great Australian film that I regularly talk about, the second dad from Round the Twist, with the curly hair, he was in that. When Elise and I were at the premiere in Randwick, old mate rocked up in a car.
Right.
His car that he drives, I assume. 'Twas an ice cream truck.
Love it.
And he just pulled up and got it valeted and all that kind of shit. And it was very strange and so around the twist.
That is perfect.
Sorry, round the twist, not around.
No, it's round. It's not around.
I think that Round the Twist is one of the shows, much like we've said with Play School, we've said about Horses by Daryl Braithwaite, we've said it about John Farnham. If you hear any part of that song, you drop everything.
Oh, yeah.
And you sing it. Because it starts with the the twist. And then everyone's like, here we go.
If it come on in the pub, everyone would know it. Everyone would sing it for sure.
Because it's a mixture of nursery rhymes. Like it's Bird and the Spider, like it's the lady who swallowed the fly kind of thing, and Rain, Rain, Go Away. Like it's all that in this one song. We have listened to remixes of that before that are quite good. Yeah, and we will post them throughout the week.
Very, very fun. Did you know that it's been heralded by the greatest award you can possibly win in this great wide land of ours?
Don't you say it.
The Logie Award. Twice.
Double Logie.
It won Outstanding Children's Program in 2001 and 2002. Granted, in 2001, it tied with High Five.
Well, obviously.
Come on.
That's obvious.
Obviously. But it won in 2002. Nominated for an award at the AFI, Australian Film Institute. It won a couple of awards overseas as well. Banff Television Festival Award for Best Children's Program in Canada, which apparently has been shown in the UK, popular in Germany and the Netherlands. So, maybe some of our listeners have actually seen it. Well, and in America, actually. It was shown on Fox Kids in 1997.
Ali Shit My Pants Chance is a German teacher, so maybe she should show this in class.
Maybe she should.
Das Bronson.
Das Bronson.
Bronson.
Und Fisch ab mein dicken Hole.
Dicken Hole. Which is obviously how you say urethra in German.
Obviously.
Urethra Franklin.
That's science.
Sorry, every time I hear think about that joke.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't understand how you'd show it around the world, because to me it's very Australian and
oh yeah,
because it pushes the boundary of being too gross and too weird that even we watch it and we're like,
what the
wait,
fuck?
sorry, what?
Yeah.
And so if you send that over to America, I feel like they'd be like, what the fuck are you guys up to?
But the town and the characters in the town, although they are exaggerations, are pretty spot on. In terms of that's how Australian, a small Australian town is. It's exactly like that.
It's got a lot of good Australian stuff in there, farts are funny. Fish in your dick hole.
Yeah.
What else could you want?
A very popular Australian pastime.
There is also the episode that we're talking about. So there's two other ones, because some of them are good and some of them just downright
fucking weird. Yeah.
One of them is when Pete has sex with a tree. And either he or the tree gets pregnant. I don't remember.
I feel like he gets pregnant.
And by have sex with a tree, he kisses the tree, I believe, which, as we all know, leads to babies.
Obviously.
That is pretty messed up. Even more messed up is the one with it's called like Cabbage Patch Kids or something like that, where Bronson is trying to work out where babies come from, and someone says from the Cabbage Patch, which in this episode is true, and there's these weird green babies in the Cabbage Patch, and it's fucked.
Yeah. It's just strange shit after strange shit. One of my favorite overarching was like the first season. I think it was in the first season. Nell, the old lady, some of her like family previously died in the lighthouse or something, and they like were in an orchestra-y band or something, and they keep hearing music in the lighthouse over and over again. And then Bronson meets this little ghost girl that lives in the lighthouse.
Yeah. Which he's horny for.
Yeah, he gets horny for her. But he fucking gets horny. And she gives him ghost food or something? Do you remember that?
Oh, I think so.
He like eats a candy bar that she gives him or something like that, and it's very weird. But I think they end up passing on, going towards the light.
They
because they finally are allowed to play their music.
Yeah, they're kind of like dressed in like, cool clothes, like jackets and scarves and things. They play like piano accordions and stuff. Yeah, it
was fun.
They're a cool little band. Nell's a fun character. She just hangs out and says shit. She's like, she just doesn't care because she's seen it all before.
A slightly crazy old woman.
But
not really.
A great TV series that is available on Stan, I believe. I think it's all on Stan.
Yeah.
We've just booked out our entire weekend for watching all 52 episodes of Around the Twist.
Non-stop.
Can't stop till you get it all in. What a show.
What a fantastic show.
What a show. One that, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's like Play School when you're a kid, Round the Twist when you're an older kid. Paul Jennings is great. Like, we just need to talk about how good Paul Jennings is.
Yeah.
You had like Paul Jennings, Morris Gleitzman, Andy Griffiths. It was mainly Paul Jennings and Andy Griffiths that were competing with their two weird books. But what are you smiling at? What did you just Google?
I'm just still thinking about Bronson with a fish up his dick hole, to be honest. It's just so ridiculous.
Did you connect with Bronson because he was a little ginger dickhead?
No. But he was a little ginger dickhead, yes. Yeah.
And you were also a little ginger dickhead, but you just obviously didn't recognize it in each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were competing for ginger dickhead of the year.
He won the Logie, you didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
He won more Logies than Rebecca Gibney and Alf Stewart combined.
I saw one of the actors that played Bronson at the theatre once, and I thought, what are you doing now?
Yes. I have looked at a picture of classic Bronson as he is now, and he's a man.
Yeah.
Which is strange to look at.
What are you up to now?
Yeah. Hey, Bronson, what are you doing? And do you like being called Bronson?
Yeah.
I think that's a wrap-up of Around the Twister.
Yes, 100%.
If you haven't seen it, just go on YouTube. Just type it in.
Yeah.
It's probably there.
It'll be on there.
Otherwise, it's on Stan. But yeah, great
good stuff.
Television program.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Which I believe is how the French came up with that word. We have a dead vice.
Did you try it? Did you forget what it was called?
I did for a second. Yes.
As long as a second.
It'll be there in a second.
Okay.
I've got a letter.
Perfection.
An e-letter. Hi, gents. Mark here from Townsville up north. Just writing in to ask if you fellas knew any way to snazz up a second-hand bike. Just picked one up cheap from a garage sale for my 8-year-old son. It's a little wet behind the ears, but nothing we can't spruce up. What do you reckon we should do with it? Cheers, mates. Mark.
Number one, Mark. Dry the bike off if it's wet. It will rust.
Get those ears off it. How did you get the ears on it?
I feel like you either remember a story that I've told you before about bikes, or this is just a crazy random happenstance that Mark wrote in. But when I was in year 2, I believe, we had to do a bike safety thing, which basically they drew, in chalk on the asphalt, and you went around, and it was like roundabouts and traffic lights. It was all very much road safety. In year 2, I still had not come off my training wheels.
Right.
And I did not have a big boy bike.
Late developer.
Yeah. So I had a small white bike with like training wheels. It was more of a like push your feet thing, I think. I hadn't really moved on to a bigger
year
bike.
2.
I think so. Mum and Dad will correct me. Either that or I had a big boy bike, but the training wheels were like embedded in it.
Yeah, right.
Could not tell you the true fact. So, I decided that I was going to borrow one of my sister's bikes, which was bright pink.
Of course.
Good old dad still had a can of green spray paint from my year 1 book week where I dressed as a mad scientist and took a time machine with me that was spray painted green.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he spray painted directly onto your skin. And I was going to say,
No.
the 90s, a different time.
Yeah, nearly. And we spray painted the entire bike green, which is great. But when you think about it, a bike has a lot of markings and branding, and mine was just green spray paint that looked nothing like that. Anyway, so we had to spray like everything that had pink on it had to be sprayed green. Mm-hmm. And I had to quickly learn how to ride a bike without training wheels.
Wow.
And then took it with me. So, Mark, get some green spray paint, spray it up.
Here's the thing. I have not heard that story. I actually wrote it based on my own experiences with secondhand bikes.
Oh, dear.
And here's the thing about that. We got this bike from Mark wrote this
Mark wrote
separately.
This, not you.
I'm just saying
you're
this
saying
connects.
But because when you read it, the
No,
reason you picked
everyone
this one,
just
there's lots of heaps of options.
Yeah.
And you picked,
just pretend that I didn't say that. Anyway.
Said what? The thing we cut?
Anyway.
Yeah.
Dad got this bike from some kind of I don't know. That was like a thing. Because we lived out in the country, sort of like it was just easier to get secondhand bikes, just ride it around the
Heaps
paddock and
cheaper
stuff.
as well.
So got this bike. It was a bit ratty. We went to Bunnings. This was not long after Bunnings first opened in Coffs as well.
Yeah, I was going to say Bunnings hasn't been around for that long.
Oh no, it might have been Big W. It doesn't matter where we got it from. We got spray paint.
Yep.
Silver and gold. I sprayed this bike and I rode around this silver and gold bike.
Silver and gold.
Yeah, I went fancy. And this bike had green wheels as well. It was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So I feel like we've just unwittingly stumbled across something of a tradition in Australia.
Yeah, getting secondhand bikes.
When you buy a secondhand bike, which a lot of people do, Mark, there's your answer. You go,
spray paint it.
get some spray
That's
paint.
all there is to it.
Yeah, that's it.
Is it for his son?
Yeah.
Get some tassels.
Get some tassels. Tassels on a bike are good.
Correct. Yeah. Thank you. Get a bell. Oh, no, don't get a bell. Get a horn. Like, you know, how you can get the little squeezy horn?
Yeah,
I had a squeezy horn for a while.
I've experienced both worlds. I'm more of a bell man myself, although a bell does rust. You got to make sure you put it in the garage.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Otherwise, your bell's going to rust and it'll be...
You've also got to get WD-40 to make sure that this bike works, because the
Yeah,
bike
that's
probably
true.
doesn't roll too well, but get WD-40.
check out the chain on it. Make
Yeah.
sure that's all good.
Make sure the tyres are good. Take it to the servo, fill it up, even though they tell you not to do that anymore, I
Yeah.
think. Also get the little balls that go on the spokes, so that when you like ride the bike,
Oh, I hated those. No,
or do
don't
that trick that I still don't understand how it works. The card that makes it sound like a motor. I've never been able to actually. I've never been able to actually fit that on
It's
a
not really an
bike.
Australian thing. It seems like a more of an American thing to do. I never did that, but I understand. It like the card hits the spokes or something.
Yeah, but I just don't understand how they get it, because like the way cartoons do it, it doesn't actually clasp onto anything that would logistically work. Let's quickly talk about bikes for a second here.
Yeah.
The greatest bike that I ever owned was not secondhand. It was a Huffy from Kmart, which were primo bikes. I got it in, I think, year 7 or year 6. It was a low rider.
Of course it was a low rider.
It was...
If you're going to get a Huffy, why would you get anything but
it was
a low rider?
black with red flames. It legitimately had like hog handles. Like my arms got tired because of how high up it was.
I never had one, but I wanted one.
Here's the pinnacle, mate. It had spinning rims.
Oh,
It had silver plastic spinning rims that were off the chart. And the reason I liked it is because it had pushback brakes. I hate handlebar brakes on bikes.
Yeah,
I like
pushback
brakes.
Never thought about that.
And I remember crashing on a bike once or twice because I was ready for it to be pushback, but it was handlebar brakes.
I haven't ridden a pushback brake bike in so long.
You can do way better skids.
Yeah, it's usually that's like a BMX bike that has the pushback brakes on it. Yeah.
So that was my Huffy. Another good bike. And so you're talking about buying secondhand. We were capable of doing the old pickup from the council pickup.
Yep.
We had 2 bikes, I think, for a while there that were like racing bikes that we just picked up from the council pickup. I guess you would call them a fixie now. But I was hip back then. They were cool. I used to ride around on those. They were awesome.
Yeah, the bikes still work.
They're probably super expensive bikes. Harder to get used to because it's in a wheel. And the gears weren't Like they weren't. You didn't have your cranky gear on your handlebar or the little dial. They were like two little things that you just flicked, like that changed the tightness of the gear.
Right.
Yeah.
Now
weird.
you've mentioned it. Where we got the bikes from at the local tip, there was like this other section. I can't remember what it was
for
called.
bikes and stuff.
Sort of, where they sold like stuff. People would take in like secondhand stuff that was still usable.
Yeah.
And like they didn't give money for it. People just like gave it to them, and they would make money. I guess it funded some kind of bullshit for the council or the tip or something. But yeah, rather than throwing things out actively at the tip, you could take stuff in. And I'm pretty sure that's where we found some of these bikes, actually. Now I'm thinking about it. Dad will be able to
Tell you where it's from.
tell me if that's correct or not. But I do remember that place now, yeah.
We do need to just do an episode on Australian bikes. Huffies are the only way to go.
Oh,
Having to put it together from a box.
Bikes were an important part of growing up. Yes, ma'am.
Can't ride a bike anymore. Like, medically, not incapable of.
Yeah, right.
Someone recently thought I was incapable of riding a bike, and I was like, I'm 25. I can ride a bike. Not to downplay anyone that can't ride a bike, because I do have friends that can't ride
don't
bikes.
ever listen to our show again.
Don't you listen to me. Even though I had training wheels until year 2 by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
You're
like 8 years old in year 2.
Yeah, how about you back the fuck off?
Jesus.
I might have been a late bloomer, but boy howdy, did I grow up quickly. Look at all this hair. Brilliant. Is that it? Are we done here?
I think so.
Can you go away then, please? Get out of here.
Sure.
Go away. I want to finish it on my own.
This is me walking. I don't know why was the door.
Tim found a whip on his way out the door. He's like, oh, a whip.
Oh no, I hurt myself.
I've fallen down. I can't get up. I want to thank Paul Jennings for creating Round the Twist and our childhood.
Yeah, thank you, Paul Jennings.
And
if you ever listen to this,
we should get Paul Jennings
contact
on.
us.
Do you reckon Paul knows Robert? We could get Robert Drew. They're probably best buds.
We could get Paul Jennings.
We could do that. Someone remind us later to get Paul Jennings.
Yeah.
You know how you don't
text me. Text me to remind me.
Yeah, you probably don't know this, but the McElroys have a podcast at the moment called The McElroy Brothers Will Be in Trolls 2, where they've got a podcast about the fact they're going to be in Trolls 2, even though they haven't actually been put into Trolls 2 yet.
Right, okay.
So this podcast is the beginning of we're going to get Paul Jennings on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to get Paul Jennings on the show.
Why not?
End of the first podcast about it. No, so thanks as always to Teylor Smirl, T-Smell, Smelly T for her wonderful cover art. If you're not listening to Still Buffering right now, make sure you start listening to Still Buffering, a show that Taylor does with her sisters.
And to Curtis Fernance of Fern Tree Music, who grew up in the same city as me and probably would know what I'm talking about when I talked about that weird shop place in the tip. So we have that in common.
And that's it. Thanks as always to the Auscast Network for letting us hang out in their chill out room, is what they call it.
We spend a lot of time in the chill out room.
You should listen to 2 shows about movies, AB Film Review with Andrew Pearce and Bernadette Pearce, and Is This Movie For You with Andy and...
That's how you actually... If you don't say his name like that as well. Andy!
And her name is like
answer.
Jacqueline or Jocelyn or Jakaya.
Just say
Jeremiah, Jim Bob, Jebediah.
Don't bring the Duggars into this shit.
That's all I can think about. Or Jacinta. I think it's Jacinta.
Oh, Jack.
Yeah. So that's 2 film-related podcasts to listen to from Auscast Network. You can find us at www.jagerday.com. You can find us on Audio Boom and Spotify and Apple Podcasts and anywhere you get podcasts from.
Yeah. You can find us on the couch a lot of the time.
A lot of the time. I'm doing a lot of couch sitting. Please vote for us in the Australian Podcast Awards. Just type in Australian Podcast Awards to Google, then go to vote, and you can find a way to vote for us in the popular vote. But there's also a post going around that I'll keep reposting until the 1st of April. Get it done. Get your grandma to do it. Get your mum to do it. Make an account for your dog.
Dad, if you're listening to this, there was your instructions on how to do it. Dad texted me like yesterday being like, how do I do this? I'm like, I don't know. Figure it out.
Daryl, there's an option to sign up with your Facebook. Just do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's going to get in the way of your Mob Wars game that you've got going on.
Oh, God. Thank
Classic
God Dad
mob wars
doesn't do
on
that.
Facebook.
Dad's not a Facebook gamer, thank God.
No one is anymore, I think. Anyway, so do all those things and enjoy all that stuff.
Yes,
How's that sound?
do it.
Go watch Around the Twist. As always, yeah, g'day Tim Bronson.
Yeah, g'day Leon Linda Bronson.
What did you just call me? And yeah, g'day everyone.
Yeah, g'day everyone round all of the twists. Catch you on the flippity flop.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Auscast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Auscast.
Simply head to auscastnetwork.com for details.